wrote a lot of songs in prison, man. I wrote like 160. Before I went to prison, I had like maybe 15, 18 songs, and like 3 or 4 of them I thought were cool songs. And sobriety just opened up a whole other thought process for me in there. And I remember sitting down in the band room in prison. We had a band room. I'll get to that story later, but I'm going to play the song. And I was reading a lot of poetry and stuff, and I was just kind of, I look at things in reverse sometimes. And I was thinking about my conscience, right? And I was thinking about all the stuff it's told me to do in my life. And like I was trying to chronologically, this talk about the angel and the devil on your shoulder. Well, there was lots of angels on my shoulders, but there was like 1,000 devils on the other one. I was walking lopsided all the time, And so I was thinking about if your conscience could write you a letter like where you're standing right now. We're all old people except for this young lady here, right? Everybody else is like we're all old. We can call ourselves old, right? You're the only person that's not old in this room. Like, savor that stuff, right? How old are you? We're 18. Legal age to go to jail. Remember when I was 18? Anyhow, so I was thinking, like, if your conscience could write you a letter, like, what would it say to you? That's a scary thought, right? Like, not your conscience just telling you stuff in real time, but if your conscience had been keeping notes, and then one day, when you're 47 years old, it decides to write you a letter. This is what mine said to me. This song's called A Letter from My Conscience. Another true story, everything. If the song I sing tonight is not true, I'll tell you that I made it up. But about 90% of my catalog is just from life experience. I love this song a lot. Whenever I wrote it, and sometimes I play it. I've got a lot of songs bouncing around my head. I'm glad you put it on there, man. Because sometimes I just forget. I'm pulling out of about 200 in my touring rotation, 200 songs, and sometimes I'll leave a show at night like, damn, I didn't play that song again, And I'm going to set with this, but this is the second time in my life I showed up to a place that made a set list, which is awesome. It tells me that they listen to my stuff and they're invested in this mentally here. But anyway, this song's called A Letter from My Conscience. I'm going to see if I can remember it. Well, I was there on the day you were born. You should have come with a warning label. Since your first breath, you've been at war. You loved the storm and you couldn't stay still. Well, man, I tried to calm you down. There was no stopping your spinning wheels. You figured out soon how to get just what you want. Oh, you'd kick and scream, but even Daddy's belt couldn't change the road you were on. You turned 16 and had nothing to lose, and I couldn't see you through them smoking tires, and I was tired of fighting with you, so I let you be. And I wish I could reach you in time before your habits got the best of you, and you went running with no lights down the darkest roads. And I was screaming the voice of reason, but your stubborn heart drove you off the edge. Hey, I threw you a rope and watched you chew it into threads. When you were a grown man, I thought I'd give it one more try. Well, man, I'd grind upon your steel heart, sometimes keep it up at night. And I'd drive around in your crowded head, and I'd get lost up there in traffic, 'cause all the signs were flashing red. And I wish I could reach you in time, and before your habits got the best of you, you went running with no lights down the darkest roads. And I was screaming the voice of reason, but your stubborn heart drove you off the edge. Hey, I threw you a rope and watched you chew it in threads. Well, this is your conscience, boy, are you ever gonna listen to me? You could save us some tears and time, some heartache and misery. And I wish I could reach you in time, before your habits got the best of you, and you went running with no lights down the darkest roads. And I was screaming the voice of reason, but your stubborn heart drove you off the edge. Hey, I threw you a rope and watched you chew it in threads. Yeah, I threw you a rope and watched you chew it in threads. Thank you. Did you make a request on that one?